That is right, friends. We are doing the review for Friday the 13th, the game. Finally! Oh man, this game has some ups and some downs. Just like any game that is created through Kickstarter, it has its high peaks that are good, and then it's going to have its lows. And they're not actually lows towards the game itself. It's just more some issues that happen straight out of the gate. Now, I do know this game has been out for a while. It's been out since last Friday, which was, the 26th of May. And I've been holding off my review so I could have about a good whole week just to fill the game, let them work on, the first issue bugs and stuff. And the gameplay that you're seeing right here is actually my first time playing as Jason, so I'll be a little sluggish and stuff like that. But I wanted to give you what a perspective of is like playing out the first. Now I'll give you some more gameplay later on of me actually playing full force straight out with some friends and stuff like that I've met through this game. Now, what is sad, though, is while my wife was at work the other day, I realized that most of my friends that I've been playing with on here don't even know who Jason is or what the Friday the 13th franchise really is. Like, they haven't really watched the movies at all. They just bought the game because it seemed cool. Is that a little disappointing? Yes, because this is my favorite slasher horror movie of its time. And I own every single movie there is. Pretty much seen almost all the documentaries that there is for this. And hopefully this year, in September, we'll actually get to meet my favorite Jason actor, which is Kane Hodder, is going to be at Scarefest in my area. And I really hope to get to meet him. And I actually hope, Gummy, if you're listening, I have my physical copy of this game, so I can actually have him sign this and my Blu-ray edition of the game. So let's go with positives for the game first here. Positive. Playing as the counselors does feel very... like you don't have a lot of power. You don't have a lot of choice of what happens to you. And don't get me wrong, that's actually a pretty well designed idea for the game. And you just feel like you're helpless when you're playing as a counselor. But there are some tools, and there's also perks later on in the game, the higher you get up in level and stuff, that helps you through that process of getting away from Jason and escaping. Another positive is Gun Media and IllFonics got Jason down perfectly. When you're playing as Jason, you fully feel like you're Jason. I mean, it explains how Jason could be everywhere at one time. He's able to. He has two forms of teleportation. He has the teleportation that you can go through the whole map, and he has morph, which only lasts for so long. And it's a good way to catch up on somebody if they're so far away from you, but if they're a good distance away, it's better to use the map morph than anything. Now, you'll notice that you have to click R1 to pull up anything as far as using your abilities, which I feel that that's a plus, because I can still move. I can use both of these, but hold R1 and still be able to use all the abilities that he has without any trouble. And up there at the top, you'll see that he has Stalk, which I don't think I used in this game. I wasn't quite for sure what that actually was at this point, and then finally found out it was. And as you've seen, I just used his vision. It kind of lets him see where counselors are on the map if they're close to his area. It's his sense ability. And it lets him know if they're in a cabin or not. Now, as you've seen, I broke a window. That's another plus. If you start attacking counselors and they get too injured, and they climb out a broken window that you shattered, or they shattered by jumping through it, it will kill them. But there's a negative to that, and I'll talk about that here in a little while. Positive. Yeah, there is 3 maps, but I feel that they got all 3 of those maps perfect. Like, they paid attention to detail, straight down to the point when it comes off of the movies. And stuff like that. Every Jason can throw throwing knives. He does have that ability. Which is a plus. But, I think they got all the Jasons down to a T. And yes, I do have all Jasons unlocked. I'm level 31, or maybe 32 now. And I have part 2 and 3, I think, are the ones that you start off with. And then you start unlocking part 6 and 7, which is the one I'm playing with here. And then part 8, which is the one that I'm playing as right now. And I have some gameplay of that for y'all. And then part 9, which is the Jason Goes to Hell. Now, do I feel that they should have probably substituted Jason Goes to Hell for Jason X? Yes, I felt that would have been a better choice. Or, even though it's not technically Jason, part 5, A New Beginning, I would have been fine with that one more than this weird looking Jason that wasn't even in the movie that long. Like, it just, I don't like the way that Jason is. And you're gonna see right here, that's how you get to stop the car. That's a plus. The car is a stuff like that. Now they're gonna get back into the vehicle and try to start it up here.
Fixed it. I'm out of here.
So I'm going to try to stop the car again, and I think I actually do. Oh no, they wrecked themselves.
Please.
But as you can see, you have tools that you can use, and we'll talk about that with the counselors. I'm trying to focus a lot right here on Jason specifically. Jason's pretty much a powerhouse. That's just down to it. And you'll see right here, I didn't know how to actually stop myself at that point. And I think these people do get away in the car. Do the kill animations seem awesome? Yes. But they allow other counselors, especially like if they're in the vehicle, they do allow them to get away.
That's my special boy.
As you see right there, they were going the other direction. So there's ups and there's downs to the game. The kill animations are really awesome, and I actually hope when they add in DLC, and I hope DLC's free, that they add a few more kills into the actual into the game. A few more that are like nostalgia kills. Like I know there's the they have environmental kills, which my favorite one out of those is the fireplace in the cabin, where he slams them down into the cabin and pretty much just puts his foot on their back and casually sits there while they fry like fried chicken. There's the door environmental kill where he smashes their skull with the cabin door. There's also, you can hang them on the hat rack or the coat rack, and stuff like that. I'm trying to let the video get through here because this is me playing as Jason, so I want to talk about Jason through this. And then I think I have gameplay as me playing as as a counselor. This kill is pretty cool. This is one of his weapon kills, I believe. I can say that I like to play as Part 7 because that's my favorite Jason, but the Part 8 Jason has some of the better weapon kills because he has that fire axe. So he has some really interesting kills, and I hope that maybe they'll implement that you can change the weapon that Jason actually holds, because Part 7 actually was pretty diverse in how he did his kills, and that's probably what inspired having multiple different kills, because you know, you had this. Since here's I think this was Tommy.
No!
I believe he gets away from me here. I know I got 4 out of the 8, which isn't bad for first time playing. And I've still run across people who usually get half. Half is a pretty good, decent way, because sometimes the kill animations do take a little longer, and morph's a little. It's weird because you move Jason with the left stick, but when you go into morph, you move Jason with the right stick. Now we're gonna play a Ring Around the Rosie here. And he's going to go up that way. And I think I stop him at one of the points here. He finally runs out of stamina. And I think the person just kind of gives up. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, this is when I told my friend Henry Mental Fan 08 I got Tommy Jarvis with the head knockoff from Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. So that was Jason. Now we're Counselor. This is my first time playing as a Counselor. I kept both videos so you could see how it is when you first start out. Now the Counselors, they have multiple diversity. Crouching, it makes you a little harder to know where you're at because the less noise, the harder it is to sense. The more noise, Jason's exactly going to know where you're at. Which makes sense, but at the same time it is sometimes annoying when you start off in the main cabin and right off the bat the person that's playing Jason knows exactly where to find you. But you have the ability to run around and find objects, and you have tools to fight back against Jason and tools to escape and ways to distract him. One of the tools is the best stunning tools is the shotgun and the flare gun, which are 2 great tools to use to escape, get Jason down. But also, you can use the baseball bat, which stuns him, and the machete stuns him. Now, the frying pan isn't really one of the best ones to use, just because you don't really get, it doesn't have a lot of strength. And it also depends on the Counselor that you're using on how your playstyle goes. The guy that I was playing as was pretty fun, but he didn't have the stats that I was looking for because I'm a little bit more stealthy and I like to have the ability to run and have stamina. So I switched over to a girl Counselor, one that has the highest stealth and like pretty good stamina, and I have some perks for her that makes me a little bit harder to detect where I'm at. And I start off with a big map and stuff like that. So you have the tools to make yourself escape better and stuff. And keep in mind, there is a way to kill Jason as a Counselor. Now this is me actually getting to come back as Tommy Jarvis. So this was my first time playing as Tommy also. And Sorry about that. Reached my limit there for that round, long of a time. But I feel that Tommy's shotgun probably should have lasted longer than a normal shotgun that a counselor could have picked up. I feel that it should have been at least a 2-round shotgun, because Tommy's supposed to be like this big hero that killed Jason, so you kind of want to make him feel a little more overpowered than the counselors, but he's not straight out to par with Jason. Jason still is more OP than Tommy, but Tommy is a lot stronger than the counselors. All his stats are 10s straight out, and I don't know if they have any intentions of adding more counselors, like more people who's actually killed Jason, like Tina. I don't know if they're going to add her because of her abilities and what she could do. I think that's more of a struggle, but hey, you never know. But the counselors are well diverse, and you definitely want to work as a team. You want to be able to find a walkie and talk to everybody and try to find out, where's the gas, where's the battery, the keys, or do you want to just try to find the fuse, find the house that has the phone for the cops and call the cops? Or do you just want to wait it out and let everybody run around? Or as I did in one of my gameplays, which I don't believe is in this one, but I may have saved it, I'll check. But the first time I got the car, I stopped and I left everybody there, and I got the achievement called, I think, you're an ass or something like that. I don't remember. Do you remember what it was? No? So they have funny achievements in here, and it makes the game have humor, but it's very serious. Now, as y'all know, I played Injustice, and I gave that game a 20 out of 10. And ever since I've picked this game up, I don't think I've touched Injustice 2 really at all. And that's just because this game sucks you in, and it makes you want to continue playing. It wants you to get better and find different ways to escape Jason and new ways to play Jason. And you run across those players who are really diverse and really great with counselors, but don't really like playing as Jason because they feel that he's not what they like. I like playing as Jason. I'm pretty good as Jason. My wife likes playing as Jason, and she's good at Jason. But she's a lot better at the counselors than I am, and she survives every time. And there's a couple of times that I die. Like, I flat out just get choked. And she's just like, nope, you ain't killing me today. At all. So, it's just fun. It's all fun around. And she's really addicted to the game. She's watched all the Friday the 13th, because I think we watched them all straight in a row. It feels like a Friday the 13th product. And Gun Media did an excellent job. Yes, there are some negatives, and that's what I'm going to get into now. Negative, there's a lot of bugs. One of my friends, Jagger, was playing with me, and I killed everybody but him. I let him live off at first. And he went into a tent, and when he tried to get out of the tent, it glitched, and his body was out, but his camera was still showing that he was in the tent, and I could see him floating around the area, and it was hilarious, yes, but I couldn't get that final kill for it, so it was a downfall with the bugs. And I understand, with you not being a AAA game company, that there are going to be a few more problems, because you have to do it off the budget that you have, and stuff like that. There's a couple times where I tried to get into a cabin that said it was no one locked it, and the door just wouldn't open at all. Try to pick up weapons and their stuff, but I mean, you get a diversity of things in here. Pocket knives, definitely. If you don't have a pocket knife and Jason grabs you, and there's nobody around to hit Jason to save you, you're gonna die. if you don't escape out of his grasp. You're going to die. But if you have the pocket knife, if you click square, it will stab Jason and stun him long enough for you to get away. Another downfall is it's a funny downfall. The facial capture for the counselors are, like, when they're scared, it's a little goofy. But it's one of those negatives that I hope it actually stays, because it adds kind of like a cheesiness to the game. And it's a good cheesy. It's a good cheesy. But with all the bugs, and there not being a story just yet, that's a little negative. But it's not like a huge negative for me where it's not going to get, it's going to keep me from wanting to play. Yeah, matchmaking definitely takes way too long to find a match. And for a while, I couldn't even switch what Jason I was because it would freeze on the screen. And then if the match started, I still had the saving profile infinite across my screen. And that just got annoying. Yes, they fixed that now. And that's another positive for Gun Media is, unlike most AAA game companies, when something bad happens, they address it immediately, and they let their fans know what's going on and what actions they are taking to better the game and get it on track where they want it. And that's what I like from Gun Media. Now, for the future of Gun Media, what do I hope out of this? I hope we get a trilogy set here. The original trilogy, OGs, killer slashers from this time era. I hope that yes, there is multiple things they could do, but I hope they brand themselves as a like a big company that likes to make horror games, but they can do other games at the same time. But I feel that the way they talk is they're big horror fans, and they just like me. And I hope that the next game that they push out for the series is Halloween. I would actually, yes, I want to see a Nightmare on Elm Street game, and I hope that's the final one in the trilogy set that they do. But I want to see a Halloween, and I want to see Haddonfield and all this stuff, and you get to play as Michael Myers, because Dead by Daylight you get to play as Michael Myers, and that was really great. But I feel that it would be better in this play style for that, because they capture what it is to be in a horror scenario back then. So I really hope that that's what we get out of Gun Media. And I'm going to tweet them my review for this game, and hopefully, Randy will watch it, and, maybe if people keep backing them to do this, we'll actually get the trilogy slasher set. And they'll make a name for themselves with this. They've already made their name for me. Gun Media is now going to be one of the big companies that I'm going to keep an eye on for video games and updates for this game. And I hope that with this, maybe it spawns that they do another Friday the 13th game where all Jasons are in it, and it's got the same core gameplay, just it's been tweaked a little bit better, and they've, I hope we get a lot out of this company. So for my final review here, I'm gonna give this I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 right now. It is a 10 out of 10, but it's not a 20 out of 10 just for the bugs. Now, let me take that back. I'm going to give it 11 out of 10. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, yes, the bugs are a little annoying. And they're awful sometimes. But Gun Media has stayed on track with keeping us up to date, that I don't feel when a bug happens, I don't know what they're doing to fix it, or if it's ever even going to get fixed. I know it's going to get fixed. They're going to take care of it, and I'm going to enjoy that. So my review for this is 11 out of 10. Thank you so much, Gun Media. And remember to have a good time, a great day. Remember to check those contracts. I'm your host, Killshot, and I'm out.